Hello and welcome back everybody, I'm Barbarian and this is Crusader Kings 2 and we return to whatever the hell this is. We have a Welsh Britain, we have Germany that is also active in Norway, we have Britain over here and over there, we have Sweden here and there, and then we have the Byzantine Empire everywhere, and don't forget Jerusalem and the Crusade for Hauserland. I don't know what the hell is going on, and at some point in this playthrough, the brain of whoever plays it just breaks. You know, I can already see the comments, and I actually can't see any of those comments because the video hasn't gone live. I haven't even rendered it yet, but I can already see the comments that say, hey, wait a minute, this episode was 100 years, you skipped so much, why? Believe me, dear just commenter that I just made up in my head, I did you a favor. Because we just sit here, we build tall, and slowly but surely madness is creeping into my head. Let's hope that we can get through this. If I'm not mistaken, then we're going to see the bubonic plague in this one. We are going to hopefully see the 4th Crusade. Whether we actually will, I don't know, but I hope so. And we are probably going to see the Mongols. Now, what we're going to do first to ensure that there will be a 4th Crusade, I will provoke Strategos David II. I'm allowed to revoke the theme. He will say no, and then once I revoke the theme, I will make sure that, you know, I can also revoke Abkhazia, and then we will hand that out to a Catholic merchant republic. At least I hope that everybody in that merchant republic will be Catholic. But, you know, hope carries me pretty far so far in this game, so I hope that this will work out. Let's do it. Let's teach him a lesson, and everyone that wants to rebel against us, I think we only need to use our personal troops, and let's get him done. And here we go. Say hello to my two Catholic Gothic merchant republics, right next to each other, one with a claim on the other. I think they can figure it out. Alania and Abkhazia, may they live forever. You know, this really does give me hope now, though, because I was quite scared. You know, looking around, I saw no opportunities to really grab any more territory over here when it comes to, you know, being able to grab land that is merchant republic worthy. And I obviously didn't want to give anything of my domain, so I'm quite happy with the results here that essentially are, hey, we have all of this now. Yet again, beautiful. And would you look at that, Kixila has been born. Attractive girl. Kixila, our heir. Crusade for Hauserland. Mansa Diawara, the cruel of Hauserland, simply converted. Alright, well, good for you, I guess. Look at that, we were completely incompetent, an indulgent wastrel. I mean, just horrible. We were a great person, otherwise, just for the record here, but an indulgent wastrel, and now we have become a thrifty clerk. Nice, keep it up. The University of Viteric has become a center for travelers and commerce, and some people have decided to settle close to the great construction. The latest reports mention children, dogs, and cattle. They are obviously putting down deep roots. Hell yes. We are up to 531.7 tax income. Absolutely insane. We are so far ahead of everyone else. Quite incredible. Quite incredible indeed, in my opinion. Poor Queen Anna the Chaste. It's cancer. Like so many of her ancestors. At least it's not the rabies. At least it's not the rabies. Thank you for the treatment, though. I appreciate it. Young Kixila is one of the smartest members of our dynasty, although of course she has very low stewardship, but I am very happy about, you know, how she turned out here. We have a very decent daughter, and I shall give her, as always, you know, the local nobleman that hopefully 25 years old. You are pretty bad at your job though, and bad at growing hair, but you know, maybe we can find someone else. 34, that's a bit old. Can't we find just like a good nobleman, please? Just anyone, really. 27 years old, an architect. You know what, Frederick? I take it. You shall be the new husband of my daughter. There you go. See, sometimes the world can be confusing. This, for example. Gabriel, are you mentally challenged? How do you look at this and say, yes, that is my child? How does he do it? And we've passed away, and quite frankly, we've passed away shortly before I would have been able to create the empire. Queen Anna was a good queen, don't get me wrong here. She had a lot of prestige and she had a lot of potential, but in the end we have practically nothing. We are now 29-year-old Queen Kixila II, the affable, which is most certainly not a lady that, you know, stays very true to her husband, but her husband believes that she does. You know, no matter how you turn that, that's a pretty bad thing to see. Now, I will of course honor my mother, and I will also go on and, you know, just expect who we are. Our mother, just for the record, by the way, inspect who we are. Our mother, just for the record, by the way, was an incredible person that built up the hospitals, that aided the poor everywhere, that built up the infrastructure, that built up the great works. And if I get the chance, I will dedicate a cathedral in Kiev, I think, to her and in her name. But that is something that, you know, is to be discussed for the later time of this. I am now Queen Kixila II, and We are an elusive shadow, attractive, patient, temperate, ambitious, cynical, chaste, and a drunkard. Now, she is most certainly not one that you would think, you know, would build a cathedral, but I think either way she cared for her mother, and her mother cared for her, and as such, you know what, I'm just going to focus a bit more on religion so that I can get closer to my sadly deceased mother. And finally, stage 4 of the statue of Kixila is finished, and with that, of course, we have the absolute beauty on the coast of Korchev overlooking the Strait of Karch, I believe. Well, either way, we have this beautiful, beautiful statue, and, you know, what else can you really celebrate, if not your own ancestors with your very own name? It's the perfect combination as far as I'm concerned. And our daughter Markia has grown up to be a mastermind theologian. I think that Queen Kixila, you know, she has gone through episodes of depression, through episodes of a very negative life experience in general. She is a drunkard, and because of that, her latest child is a bit slow. You know, she did drink some wine during the pregnancy, of course. And it is nice to see that at least Markia turned out quite well. Indeed, this will mean that maybe Queen Kixila can feel a bit better about herself, but I still want to build that chapel, you know, that cathedral. If I don't build that cathedral, then we will never be able to recover from, you know, the shame that we've brought over our family by being a drunkard. Let's work on that. And also, of course, by cheating, but you know what, let's just forget about that if we can. Crusade for Perm. So the 4th Crusade did yet again not work out. Instead, the Crusaders are yet again incredibly bored and are going for Perm. There's Volt, I guess. Where are the Mongols? I really need the Mongols up in here, and yet they haven't showed up. Come on. And just like that, I think we shall build a grand cathedral in Kiev. Why in Kiev? Well, first of all, Kiev was, of course, historically speaking, a very important town in the Kievan Rus. But not just that, what is very important here, and for Orthodoxy, I suppose, but not just that, what is very important for me here is that we have conquered these lands and they have accepted us. Look at that. They are still being ruled over by the Russians. The Russians are everywhere here in the north. I think, no, we have some Goths every here and there, but that's fine. You know what I mean? There is like a coexistence between our two people, and that is a good thing. That is a thing that I treasure, and because of that, I hereby grant you this cathedral. And while I do it because of my mother, I will name it the Grand Cathedral, or rather, Cathedral, come on, Cathedral of Saint Julia, because that is, of course, the historical saint that, you know, whose blood we share, who is inside of our bloodline, and you can see it right here, blood of Saint Julia Pyrogenes. And I hope that this will make her, and of course, you know, the church, quite happy that we have this beautiful cathedral right here. I don't like the way the name looks, but that's okay. And would you look at that, she really has turned herself around. She became just, she stopped being a drunkard, no depression anywhere to be seen, she even became a falconer. I mean, maybe a bit overweight, but honestly, don't worry about it too much. She is doing excellently. Queen Kixila II the Affable has turned her life and her legacy around, especially with the Cathedral of Saint Julia being in production as we speak. Beautiful. Now, I will tell you, you know, there may be some in the comments that say, hey, why aren't you showing the rest of the map? The reason is that everything about it is horrible. I can't stop any of it. I need the Byzantines to get destroyed by the 4th Crusade, but it's not happening. I don't know what to do. Please help me. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I think it is finally time that we go against Basileus Bartholomeus of the Byzantine Empire. We have spent so much time in peace, and I have seen your comments as well, by the way, pointing out that this is destroying you on a mental level. So you know what? Let's aid you in your struggle. And let's destroy the Byzantines one more time. After that, I think we're gonna maybe like do a great conquest or something. The de jure borders are very weird, meaning like great conquests aren't really worth that much. Maybe for Wallachia, maybe. We'll have to see about it. What matters the most to me is that we go against the Byzantines and destroy them for just this single county. We can do it. I believe in us. Let's go ahead. Just like that, this entire war's over. It was barely a challenge, I will reiterate that. I hired people left and right, and yet look at this, we're still making money. Oh, we are so dirty rich. It is beautiful. It is wonderful to look at. And the Byzantines have been beaten at every turn. I don't know whether I actually ever want to go for Wallachia. I would like to go for Georgia, but I mean, it's a horrible looking kingdom at this point. We have to see what we can do, but at the very least now, the river here is indeed the border, although, I mean, kind of not, but that's okay. We got it all figured out, believe you me. As people flock to Korchev, so too do the clergy. In fact, so many have arrived that with a donation to get them started, Korchev could become a notable center of worship. You know what? Yeah. Absolutely, actually, yeah. Sure. I'll spend the money. I've spent years studying the basic tenets and beliefs of the Orthodox faith, and by now I consider myself quite an advanced Orthodox scholar. Yes, please. We gained another theologian. She's perfect. She had a true redemption arc where, you know, she started out as a very mediocre queen. She finally smoothed out our borders in the south, and on top of that, she built the cathedral. Beautiful. This is actually unbelievable. The Aztecs are arriving before the Mongols have even been announced. Strangers from beyond the sea. There are rumors of exotic strangers in weird-looking ships making landfall all along the Atlantic coast, speaking no known language, trying to buy land in exchange for obsidian beads, colorful feathers, and gold. After refusing their offers, local rulers were apparently threatened with terrible curses and the might of a great emperor from beyond the Atlantic Ocean. Ha! A fantasy menace. Let them come, I say. I am very far away. Sunset invasion. Thousands of exotic ships have arrived in the coast of Morocco, spewing out numberless hordes of ululating warriors in weird armor sporting feathers and bone. These invaders from beyond the sunset worship hellish demon gods, sacrificing the population of entire towns and altars erected on top of pyramid-shaped wooden edifices. They cut their victims' hearts out, carefully flay them, and let their devil priests wear their skin for many days. God have mercy. Huatlatwani Coatl arrived. It is this time around a proper Nahua. Last time I had this invasion, what was going on was essentially that we got someone that was a native European that at some point set out to find the New World. They found the New World, worked around the new leader of the expedition for the Aztec Empire in the east, and everything became very strange because they just became like Muslims after they... Don't worry about it, okay? What matters is they are invading with 100k. Honestly, I think the Byzantine Empire should be able to get rid of them here, and if they do, then we will get an achievement for that. If they don't, then I can get an achievement for fighting them and the Mongols at the same time. It would be a dream. Sunset invasion. Oh. Land's End. Wait a minute. Land's End. Oh, that's Britannia. Alright, we will see how that goes. They are invading Brithoniat. So essentially, we're taking a look at them actually invading the Kingdom of Wales. The core of course, Britannia here. Let's see how that goes. I really want to stress, I'm not showing you very little of the map, and I'm not doing very little because, you know, oh, I want to keep all the good content away from you. It's just, like, what do you want me to say here? Like, what is this? What is going on? What is any of this? Aztecs spread disease. There's no end to the evils the Aztecs have inflicted upon this land. A strange disease emanating from their conquered territories has begun to spread through the old world. They did indeed conquer both right down here and then over here all of Wales. The symptoms are similar to those of the dreaded Great Pox, but this cursed plague seems even more virulent. Men skilled in the art of medicine have dubbed it syphilis, and all attempts to treat it have thus far met with failure. Now even those beyond the reach of the Aztec armies are imperiled as this disease, carried by refugees and merchants, sweeps across Europe and the Middle East like an unstoppable tidal wave. I don't know, they don't feel all that strong to me. Of course they're gonna take, you know, some stuff over here, but I feel like the Byzantines could easily beat them up. I mean, I think I could easily beat them up. 163k, you know, that is of course quite something, but is it enough to stand against all the technology that we have? After all, most of their troops are light infantry, and I mean, I melt light infantry away like it's butter. With the realm at peace, with our borders in the north being hideous, I think it is time to create our very own empire. You know, I think she has done so much. She turned her entire life around. From a drunkard, from a cheat, she became a theologian. She became just. She became trusting. She became the one person that unified the Russians, so the Ruthenian and the actual Russian people, and the Goths together by building a cathedral that, you know, has essentially housing, or is going to house everyone. All of the people of the realm will be praying in the cathedral in Kiev, in the cathedral of Saint Julia. It shall now be made official that we see ourselves as a successor to the old order, and as per the Translatio Imperii, we are hereby claiming to be descendants of Rome, albeit that we don't lay claim to any of the regions over here. We just lay claim to our very own realm in the, you know, kind of descendancy of Rome. Let's go in. What's our color, please? I don't know how to feel about that. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, I think. At least our sigil is good, and we are now officially an empress. And as we are now an empress, of course, that is absolutely beautiful. I will also go on and rename this empire into Oyum, which was apparently the historical name for the Kingdom of the Goths back when they had one. So let's just do Oyum right here, and then we're gonna call this the Gothic adjective. Can I call it Empire of Goyum? See, I don't actually know. Is this... Dude, those letters are so large. Of the Oyum. No, that's wrong. Don't do that. Alright, Empire of Oyum. Yeah, that's fine. We are Oyum. Gothica is also cool, but I don't think historically accurate. And we rule over these lands that we have so long trained to be like us. That we have, you know, tamed, that we have civilized, that we brought prosperity to. Look at this. Actually, I don't even know. Are we looking at the right thing here? 535, 386, 280, 190. We are rich, and everybody around us was able to profit from it. Very, very nice. Now, what we're also going to do, and this is very, very important to me. First of all, I'm not going to get rid of any of my kingdom tier titles. Those are mine, and you may desire them, but you will never get them. And then I will go on and actually smith, you know, some stuff that would be adequate. For example, the finest jewels to befit my position. Oh wow, it has been many weeks since I commissioned Mistress Ufrosine to work for me, and today my council has informed me that Ufrosine has fled from my lands to the court of Pope Johannes VIII, taking the work promised to me and any gold left with her. Taking the work promised to me and any gold left with her. I don't think so. Thank you. Did we get any crowns out of this? We did actually, the Crown of Majesty, a Sword of Heroes, and an Emerald Scepter. You know what? I will accept this. For what it is, it could be better, it could be worse. This is just a level 3 artifact, but it is better than nothing, so here we are. My Empress, the more I study the monotheist religion, the more I feel compelled to embrace it and to show you the wisdom that lies in the texts. I have sent you excerpts from the most interesting parts. I urge you to follow my example and embrace the monotheist religion. You know, you have to be an expert to recognize that your church is doing something wrong. Because if you didn't understand your church properly, then you could never actually learn from it and say, you know what, this is the truth. This is the new cult that we follow. So, despite, of course, having studied Orthodoxy, or rather, because having studied Orthodoxy all her life now, maybe Empress Cielo II the Affable is exactly the right one to turn to a heresy. Monotheism. Monothelitism is a Christological doctrine that was declared heretical in 681. Monothelites attempt to develop the Miaphysite, and Monophysite stands on the single nature of Christ by saying he had both a human and a divine nature, but only a single will. The nominal head of the Monothelite Church is the Monothelite Patriarch of Antioch. Okay, looks pretty okay. We're never gonna push this through, because, you know, it's never gonna be more than a heresy, so I'm thinking... How much do my vassals like me? Quite a lot, actually. You know what? Oh, this is my court. Of course it is my court. Still, honestly, quite a lot, actually. So, I'm thinking, you know what? He has convinced me to follow in his footsteps. Sure, you're right. You're right, fella. You are completely right. I will strengthen our religion, and I will do so by starting with all of you. I will convert every last one of you. The grand conversion of Orium to one of the old heresies is beginning right here. And with that, I have converted most of the realm immediately. I will not convert the merchant republics. They are supposed to be Catholic and they shall remain Catholic, but just look at this. Beautiful. And the Cathedral of St. Julia has finished stage 1, but stage 1 is a stage in which it is not used as the Orthodox cathedral that we originally thought it would be used as. Instead, it will be the first proper temple for all monothelites everywhere. Now, the thing, of course, is that the blood of St. Julia Pyrogenes is no longer active, which honestly is not that bad. Like, it's a pretty mediocre bloodline, but we are going to act as though Empress Cielo the Affable believes that it is still active. You know, for her, of course, she is the right bloodline, and it does kind of count as a saint to her, but obviously, you know, properly in terms of game mechanics, it does not. But we'll take that, you know, as it goes. It's one of those really unwritten rules for me. Whenever I don't see the Aztec invasion, I say, wouldn't it be cool if the region was mixed up by the Aztec invasion? And then the Aztec invasion comes along and I say to myself, please, why would I ever do this? What, why? Damn, my daughter died and now we play as her daughter. Cielo Pyrogenes, get out of here, I don't talk to you. Cielo Pyrogenes is our new heir. She is of the right religion already. She has a son, which is quite nice. She is a brilliant strategist, pretty decent at stewardship, although not excellent, but that should be fine, don't worry too much about it. Her brothers are all probably going to be angrily coming for my title, but don't worry about it. Cielo Interesting, interesting indeed, because we are going to take over an already fairly old character. I mean, we are at this point 67. One of the more long-lived characters in comparison to everything else that we have going on. So the Byzantines thought that they could come for us, that they could destroy the new powerhouse to their north, but they didn't think right. It's a dumb embargo war. My god, how come that the AI falls for these embargo wars? And by the way, they don't actually pop up as war declarations for me. They just pop up over here, but don't worry about it. I could change the setting. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to keep blaming the game. Now, the way this is going to work is I'm going to recruit everything that we need, everything that we have, and then I'm going to go and, well, destroy the Byzantine Empire, I guess. You know, at this point, I do wish that I had, you know, let's just say a bit of grace for the Byzantine Empire, or rather for the Chinese Empire, because then I could actually destroy the Byzantine Empire. But I kind of also think that unless it's the 4th Crusade, I don't want to do it myself, because we still have those Aztecs around, and the Aztecs of course need to be destroyed themselves, and I think if I shatter the Byzantine Empire, then the Aztecs will win. So let's just, you know, destroy them here in this war, take their money, and then we just return to normalcy, I think. And here's the biggest battle of them all going on. Greece itself has come for some reason. I think it is because we've sieged down technically Greek territory over here. Indeed we have, and we are fighting Greece, which is of course a bit of a pain, but I will smite them like I have smitten all of them. This war is going to be a victory, primarily because the Byzantines are of course horrible at microing their troops. You can see that they have most of them over there, where nothing is happening over there. I'm just carpet sieging them here, but that's just the AI in a nutshell, huh? There they go. Good night, Greece. It was very nice knowing you, although I would have preferred if we could have solved this in a bit of a different fashion. Delicacies from the far west. War and disease are not the only thing the Aztec have brought with them from Kemanuak, their distant homeland. Their diet includes several strange plants that are supposedly edible, and many of these are now enjoyed as exotic delicacies in courts across Europe and the Middle East. After trading with Aztec merchants, enterprising farmers have sowed their fields with the seeds of a plant called potato, while others experiment with tomatoes and maize. Many nobles, however, have become enamored with a sweet drink called chocolate, made of the beans of the cacao tree. Right, never doing that again. News from across the sea. Rumors have reached Europe of a titanic struggle taking place across the Great Sea in the homeland of the Aztecs. The Aztecs themselves rarely discuss it with outsiders, but it appears they've been locked in a deadly war for some time with the Tawantinsuyu, a great empire from mountains and jungles far to the south of Tenochtitlan. They're ruled by the Sapa Inca, who is allegedly the direct descendant of some kind of sun god. If the stories are to be believed, the warriors of the Inca are armed with mysterious thunder sticks capable of felling a man from a great distance. The Aztec have only recently been able to halt their advance, in a large part thanks to their mounted warriors riding horses imported from Europe. And I have passed away. I have passed away, and we are now Empress Cielo III, our granddaughter, since our daughter sadly passed away early. Now, we died to cancer, of course, but we were 69, so that was the perfect time to die, I think. We are now a brilliant strategist, a Lightfoot leader, defender, stubborn, patient, cynical, diligent, and greedy. The perfect mix to win this damned war. I think we must destroy them, and I think we shall destroy them. And there's the peace. He surrenders. He loses 200 prestige. We gain 3,000 bucks. And Empress Cielo III of Oyum gains 100 prestige as well. This war was what you had coming, Byzantine Emperor. I will destroy you 100 times if that is what is necessary, and I feel like it is necessary. I think we have to launch a great invasion, and maybe, you know, I wish I could just like create a puppet kingdom here, but that is impossible. I would have to release them and then start a war for tributary there, but that's a different story. That is a very tedious story, mind you. And here we go. I will give Patriarch Gregorios III, the Patriarch of the Monotheism Heresy, the title of the Bishopric of Yuriev. Are you kidding me? You guys aren't supporting this? Seriously? I'm gonna buy a favor off of you. We're gonna hand this over because then he will have a seat in Kiev proper, and I think that is really where he belongs. That is... oh, he just died. Patriarch Timotheos II, welcome. Wow, isn't this amazing? You shall have this barony. May you always serve the church, and may the church serve Oyum. I hope you know what I'm trying to say here, buddy. Crusade for Germany. Now, I was hoping for the 4th Crusade, seeing as we now have these merchant republics here, but it doesn't seem to be destined to happen. Instead, they're going against the Aztec Empire, which I'm not against. That is actually a good thing. I enjoy that the Christians are bounding together, whatever, to go against Germany, and I think they can do it, and I think they can trash the Aztec Empire in the process, but this means that the Byzantines aren't being trashed, and quite frankly, I can't let that happen. Now, this is something that I wanted to do for a long time. Originally, I wanted to build it here in Tamuntarakan, but I honestly feel like a fortress would do better here. Instead, I will build a lighthouse in Azov. The entire Sea of Azov shall be you know, seeing the light of this magnificent lighthouse built by our beautiful Empress Cielo the Wise. We're going to go ahead and build this great lighthouse. Indeed, 21 years. My god, that's a long time, but I think we can stem the tide and then shine the light. And would you look at that? This is a dream and a nightmare come true. Germany has been freed, but the game has spurred out to a degree where the Pope gets every single one Crusade's territory. Meaning, yeah, Germany may still be around, but they aren't getting their land back anytime soon. Are you the king of Franconia? Are you kidding me? Well, the business... Yeah, wow, look at this, Jesus. And with that, the Aztec Empire is, I mean, in horrible conditions. I don't think they're going to live for that much longer. If I can preserve them until the Mongols come around, that would be beautiful, because then we would be able to, you know, be at war with them and the Mongols, and then I can oust them for the rest of the series, and hopefully getting that achievement as well. That would be pretty decent. And I think now is a good time to truly protect the Sea of Azov. You know, we already have the wonderful tower over here that is currently being built, but we can go even further, and honestly, we should go even further. We are going to build a magnificent grand fortress that will guard the entrance, the Strait of Karch, I believe? I forgot the name again, but that grand fortress shall guard that entrance, and guard well it shall. You know, I thought about it. I tried everything in my power, absolutely everything in my power, to go on and make the Byzantine Empire fall by the virtue of the Fourth Crusade. And simply, it was not supposed to happen, it appears. And now, even worse, the Mongols are not spawning in. The Mongols aren't arriving, and I do not understand why. It's not turned off, I can guarantee you that, because I am able to get achievements, and it would have to be turned off to actually do that. Maybe I said they should come late, I don't know. I thought I set them to historical, but here we are. Now, you know, I have decided... I think it's time. Who cares about the Mongols? Who cares about all of that stuff? We're gonna make facts, cold hard facts, with our own seamless rope of Jesus. I request an invasion to shatter the Byzantine Empire. Never again shall it rise, never again shall it be a threat to our south. Excellent. Do your worst, destroy them. I swear, if they fail, I'm gonna be mad, but I don't think they will. Following the sage advice of Empress Cielo the Wise, the Shia Empire has declared war upon Metodios Paphlagon with the intent of shattering the Byzantine Empire. Georgian armies are already marching towards the Byzantine Empire, and it seems possible that this spells the end of Basileus Metodios II's great realm. There it goes. God, they have been a thorn in my sides for far too long. But no more. No more. And here we are. News from China. After the defeat of Basileus Metodios II at the hands of Protector General Ilunga, the Byzantine Empire has been dismantled. The vassals relieved as they are now free from the grasp of the Basileus. Further in the east, it is reported that Shigayanu Ushina, Emperor Zhuangzhong of the Xia Empire, is very pleased with this as outcome, as once again Xia has displayed the might of the dragon. What have I done? After the destruction of the Byzantine Empire, I think there is but one thing that we need to do to make things fair. We must take over Constantinople. We must secure the population of the city and show those Greeks that the Gothic people have mercy, that we are the true survivors of this thing, and that we will prevail together. So I shall bring down my retinue so that we may lay siege to the eternal city, so that we may lay siege to what used to be the center of the world, but is of course no longer. Ladies and gentlemen, Constantinople has fallen. And with Constantinople falls the hope of the Byzantine Empire to ever be restored. We are in control. We control not just the Black Sea, not just the trade that goes from north to south and from south to north. We control the center of the world. Constantinople itself is from now on in our hands. Now I want one thing to be incredibly clear. We are not down here, at least she is not down here. Cielo the Wise is not down here to build an empire that spans what, you know, was held together by the Byzantine Empire. I don't think that she believes that this is in her interest. The squabbling down here makes the region weaker and makes her stronger. It is quintessential to her power position, but the taking of Constantinople makes it seem as though, you know, her engagement with the Chinese wasn't all that evil, you know. Maybe she is trying to play herself out as the protectors of Constantinople, as the good person behind all of this, despite, of course, having led to the squabbling. But, you know, the history books will probably be telling her story, let's be honest here. And with that, the Hagia Sophia is under our control. And not just that, Constantinople, one of the most important holy sites for the Monothelites faith, is now under our control as well. I can only hope that in the last remaining 150 years of this playthrough, this means that Monothelite will spread further and further simply by virtue of being stronger than its, you know, enemy. And the enemy in this case, of course, being, well, orthodoxy. Orthodoxy was a tool of the Empire, and we shall not accept it. Now, what I will do, and this is actually somewhat important to me, and I say somewhat with a lot of meaning here, I think. I don't actually care for this, but I will take care of it, if you know what I mean. I will hand over Constantinople. I do not think that I want this in my own hands. Of course, it's an amazing thing, right? This entire thing here is absolutely stunning. But at the end of the day, our home is up here, and that is what we built up to be the most prosperous and the most rich region of the world. So I think the way that I'm going to play this is we're going to hand this out to one of our family members. What about our son? He's married, he is Gothic, he has a right to rule, I think, and my son, you shall be the guardian of Constantinople, as shall all others that come beyond you be. The first stage of the Azov Lighthouse has also been finished. Let's upgrade this first. I will, of course, continue to build the cathedral and whatnot, and the Grand Fortress, but all of it will take time because all of it is very expensive. But this is the world in 1301. The Mongols haven't showed, maybe they will show in the future. The Aztec Empire has already fallen apart. I mean, just look around. If, you know, if it falls apart, if they get completely wiped, then I don't even have to intervene to begin with into this entire nonsense. Although I see some Nahua, so that may or may not be a possibility there. Either way, it is a massacre. And who caused it? That's right, it was us. And as always, I of course want to thank the members of the channel that are making videos such as this one possible, namely the Barons, Aaron, Stefan, the Richest T, Snywolf, Emma Mamello, Thomas, Lockton, and Mitchell. Then of course also the Counts, Shifty, and Woman, and last but not least, the absolutely beautiful Dukes, Suspicious Dark, Nathan, Knight of Squires, Kenneth, Lexo, Eric, and Aiden. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, and I will see you in the next episode. Later, Alligator.